Hello everyone. I thought it would be really cool to put this series together for anyone who wishes to follow along. I'll do a number of parts of the series on how I go about writing a chart in Band in the Box, working more with it in Real Band, dragging it over to Reaper, which is the multi-track DAW I choose to use, and in Reaper mixing and mastering that final song. I'll also include a segment in my studio about how I cut vocals and what I use to record them with. Keep in mind this isn't a how-to video, it's just a how I do it video. There's a ton of people much better at using Band in the Box, Real Band, and Reaper for sure. There will probably be lots of stuff I show that you may not agree with, or you may know better and faster ways. Like I said, this is just how I do things at the moment. The audio may not always be perfect either, but I think you'll get the idea, and when we get to the mixing segments, I'll try and make the audio as good as I can so you can hear all the little nuances I'm adjusting. Anyway, on to the first part in the series, cooking the charts with real tracks. Okay, so here's our song up at bat, and it's called What You Put Me Through, and it's in the key of G, and it's at a tempo of 123, and I came to this conclusion by humming along with the tempo of this thing, and that's about where I can sing it. That's as fast as I want it. It's a little bit of a country kind of train shuffle kind of thing, and this is the style, the train country. Well, there it is right there. Yeah, and it's got a little bluegrass thing going on. It's got some fiddle. It's got some. Does it have a strat in there? It's got a little bit of everything, and what it doesn't have, we'll add. The first thing I like to do is I like to go into the song settings, and I do this for every chart I do. Song settings, title and chorus, and I get rid of number of choruses. I don't rely on repeats and double backs and codas or anything. I write the whole thing up as I go along. So I get rid of any repetition, repeats, codas, everything. Gone. I write that out myself manually rather than having the chart double back. It's just the way I do things because I tend to manipulate a lot when I in editing later in my DAW. I edit a whole bunch of stuff. Let's take a listen to this. I took the liberty of writing this chart up. It's a very short piece. I don't even know how long it is, but I'd be darned if it's a couple of minutes at most, maybe 2.5. I don't even think it makes 3 minutes. But let's take a quick listen to it. I'll let it render as well. And we'll take a quick peek at what this is going to sound like. And maybe even try and work up a little mix on it within VOB. Absolutely love real tracks. I am so hooked. Thank you so much, BG Music. You have made my life so much easier. I used to track all this stuff myself. So let's get a little mix going on just this particular thing. Okay, one thing I did notice is when I yap during the music, you can't understand a darn thing I'm talking about. So I won't do that anymore. But you will have to deal with my drinking coffee while I do this little video. So there you have it. Oh well. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to work up a little mix here, and I froze this whole thing, so it'll make it a little easier. So let's take a listen to what we got going on, and not that I'm making a mix, I just want to hear it a little bit more defined so I can get an idea if I want to use what I have playing here. And what I was yapping about over the music is to thank you PG Music for this software, because it is terrific. I used to track all these parts, and now I have real tracks, and I love it for my country music. So let's take a listen here. Okay, the first thing I'm going to do is isolate the bass and the drums and play that. And I'm just going to tweak while it's going. Now, the first thing I'm going to do is bass. Centered. Mute that. I doubt that will make the cut. Cool track, but a little too mid-rangey. Take a look at this. I like that. I like to hear what's going on. Can't do much. Fiddle going. Okay, so I don't put too much effort into a mix here, because this is not what it's all about. We're here in Band in the Box. It's all about the chart, and so we definitely have that going. I like what I hear in the bass. Love the acoustic bass part. Drums are fantastic. The fiddle's going to be terrific. I'll probably have multiple fiddle parts that I'll generate in real band, and that Strat guitar I like a lot too. So, okay. Yeah, I should also make mention that I have a modulation in this song, and we'll just take it real quick before the modulation, and love that. I mentioned to someone on the forum a while ago about modulations. Even in this short little piece, calls for it, it's real important. This is going to have some really nifty vocal harmonies too, so this will all come together very nicely. Okay, I fine-tuned this chart a little bit. I put in some rests and shots and holds and all that kind of good stuff. And the best way to describe these parts is just to play them a little bit so you can take a listen to what I'm hearing for the final version of this chart. So yeah, really cool little embellishments there, and I do this frequently throughout the chart. Another thing I wanted to make mention is that you can force cymbal hits in certain spots just by throwing in some changes here in A-B sections. Even in the middle of a section, here's a verse, and I wanted just a cymbal hit there, and so take a listen. A little transition. You don't always have to transition into a full verse or a full chorus to get yourself a little bit of a fill shot just by throwing in the same exact section part marker within a part, just to force a cymbal or a roll. And here's another thing I do real quick. I often do this at the end of charts. I will just make up some things that I might use in editing down the line. For instance, I have hold here. This is completely after the chart is done, just at the very end of the chart. Now I have an A. Just throw it in there. I might be able to edit that in if I need it. Now here's a really good thing that I do at the very end, towards the end here, I mean completely after the chart is done, I'll throw in drum holds. I'll throw in holds with just drums as the exception and keep throwing part markers in, and look at what that gains me. That gains me a whole different drum fills. Here's a cymbal hit. Nice fill. So yeah, I really think that it's really handy after, well down below the chart when it's completely finished. I do this kind of thing to force drum fills that I may be able to edit into spots that I like, something different than may automatically render for me. I have all these to choose from to edit in any spot that I want. And you kind of can hear when it's out of choices, and that's when I end it. But this is a real good tip to force different drum fills that you might be able to edit into your song later on. And there you have it. Okay, so we have our chart. I think it's coming right along very nicely, and this is going to be the basis of our entire progress as we move forward now, taking this rhythm section into real band and generating more parts, more acoustic guitar parts, steel pedal, fiddle, just a whole bunch more parts. We're gonna next edition we're gonna work in real band with this rhythm chart that we've just made. I hope you've enjoyed this. I hope you've gotten a little something out of it, or maybe it was just interesting to watch somebody else noodle. But there you have it, the end of Cooking the Chart. Thanks for watching, and join me in Real Band coming up soon.